It's a festival of harmony at the United Arab Emirates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Abu Dhabi. The images that you see on your television screen, the Pran Pratishtha that took place at the Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi, the prayers, the Vedic mantrocharan, and after that, it's the festival of harmony. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi is there, and we'll show you those images, multiple images that you see on your television screen. You also have the spiritual head of the BAPS, Mahant Swami Maharaj Ji. You also have Sadhu Brahma Bihari Das, who I'm told was a part of this entire project from the time that it was conceptualized on paper, or perhaps even before it was put to paper, from their minds to the fact that a Divya Bhavya temple now stands tall at Abu Dhabi. You also have the Minister of Tolerance of the United Arab Emirates government who's there. We'll show you those images as you look at a Divya Bhavya ceremony that's just been concluded of the Pran Pratishtha and the Aarti. And incidentally, an Aarti that was simultaneous across 1,500 BAPS temples across the world. And that shows you perhaps just a glimpse of the power of the Sanatan Dharma. I'm Gaurav Sawant. We get you all details on the Newstrack. This divinity, deities and diplomacy in West Asia is our top focus story. But first, as always, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Middle East's largest Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. The BAPS Mandir marks a significant moment for the Sanatan Dharma followers in UAE, as well as for the bilateral relationship between India and the UAE. Women of Sandesh Khali in West Bengal narrate tales of horror, rape and torture. Accuse TMC leader Sheikh Shah Jahan and his men of abducting and raping women and assaulting men. Farmers remain on the war path. Violent clashes continue at Delhi's borders. Centre urges dialogue. Round 3 of talks tomorrow at 5 p.m. Politics over farmers' protests escalate. Rahul Gandhi's MSP guarantee backfires. India Today accesses a 2010 reply which reveals that the Congress party had actually rejected the recommendations of the Swaminarayan report. Five-time Lok Sabha MP Sonia Gandhi set to enter parliament through the Rajya Sabha route. She's filed a nomination from Rajasthan today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Abu Dhabi. He is at the BAPS Mandir right now. He'll be addressing the Indian diaspora in just a short while from now. But before that, let me take you through some of the defining moments of this monument to Modi's Middle East doorstep. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered prayers at the Swaminarayan temple. The Prime Minister participated in the first Aarti at the BAPS temple. Incidentally, this Aarti was conducted simultaneously across 1,500 BAPS temples across the world. The Prime Minister also took part in the symbolic Ganga Aarti at the temple premises. The temple has a Varanasi-like ghat with holy waters from rivers Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati. Prime Minister was welcomed with special garlands as he entered the temple premises. He was welcomed by seers of the BAPS and representatives of the UAE government. BAPS Mandir chief priest ties a sacred red thread or kalava on the Prime Minister's wrist. This as sacred Vedic mantras echo across the temple. The Prime Minister reached the BAPS Mandir ahead of the grand inauguration ceremony and took a tour of the largest Hindu Mandir in West Asia. And I quickly want to cut across to India. Today's Akshita Nandagopal, who is on ground zero. She is witnessing this divinity with that magnificent temple in the backdrop. And Akshita, the story of the 7 shikhars behind you, this Divya Bhavya temple, it truly must be a divine feeling being there. Akshita, take it away.
I mean, pictures quite simply don't do justice, Gaurav. We found a vantage point from which you get the most beautiful view yet of the temple. And it really comes alive in the night with all the lights here shining upon the temple, highlighting each minute detail of the carving. This is truly, truly a sight to behold right now. It shows the amount of love, care that's gone into making this temple. You know, repeatedly we've spoken to Gaurav about how this temple has come up literally in the middle of nowhere in what was once a sandy desert area of Abu Dhabi. Now this tall temple stands here, and you can see that it's so beautiful. It's an architectural marvel, there's no doubt about it. But let me explain to you how difficult also it must have been to actually get this temple together. I'm not sure how much I can show you, but I just want to show you the skyline here of how there's nothing around here but desert land. And in the middle of that, this kind of a significant, massive temple that's come up. The fact that they got it done in just about 5 years is astounding, to say the least, Gaurav. And I'm sure you can't get enough of this view as well. Let me take you down and I'll show you one significant part. This is the area in which, in fact, you had the Prime Minister coming as well. Now, when the Prime Minister walked by here and you had all the artisans seated here, he made his way to one point of this temple where he also attempted to carve on the stone. There was a writing of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam on it. Let me show you what really that looks like also. I'm just going to make my way through. Bear with me because people are walking by right now. But these are the pictures right now. And let me just show you what the sandstone looks like. This is the massive block of stone. This is the massive block of stone that was placed here where the Prime Minister also stood. He attempted to carve on it. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam written on it is this edge that the Prime Minister essentially also was seen symbolically carving away. It's the same stone that's been used across the temple. It's the same sandstone that is there that makes up this beautiful temple. And it's this view at this point where the Prime Minister, soon after the carving on that single piece of stone, also met with the UAE delegation, posed for a photo up here, and you can get a sense of what a beautiful image it would have been with this mandir on the backdrop from this point. So that is the carving stone on which the Prime Minister attempted to carve using a hammer and a chisel, and then made his way through, interacted with all of the artisans. He saw the carvings behind me and then attempted to do it himself to understand how truly difficult and what a challenge it is and how much it takes for each artisan involved in this to actually carve out any bit on the stone, all handmade, Gaurav. And that was, I think,
all shipped from India. Akshita, stay with me as I bring in our guests on this special broadcast. Akshita, feel free to come in through the course of this broadcast. I have Radhika Shukla, a part of the Swaminarayan Sanstha, a volunteer there who joins us on this special broadcast. I have Dushyant Sridhar, a Vedic scholar, writer who joins us from Bengaluru, and Ambassador Veena Sikri, former top diplomat. Ambassador Sikri will give us a diplomatic perspective on the Prime Minister's visit and the message it sends across. But Radhika Shukla, सबसे पहले मेरा प्रश्न आप ही से होगा, इसे उत्सव बताया जा रहा है, फेस्टिवल ऑफ हार्मनी, लेकिन क्या कितना परिश्रम लगा ये दिव्य भव्य मंदिर जो आज बनकर तैयार है? क्या इसकी कल्पना थी कि ये हो पाएगा? कई बार तो कहा गया संभवतः बन नहीं पाएगा।
जी बिल्कुल, जो आपको प्रश्न लग रहा है वो सेम 1997 में जब अक्षरधाम के जो रचयिता थे प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज, वो ऐसे ही अपने अविरत विचरण के दौरे पे निकले थे यूएई के रेगिस्तान में। वहां पे शारजाह के रेगिस्तान में वो वहां पे थोड़े से हरिभक्तों के साथ पहुंचे थे और उस रेगिस्तान में उन्होंने 4 प्रार्थनाएं की थी, जिसमें से पहली प्रार्थना थी कि यहाँ पे और सभी विश्व के सभी देशों के बीच में शांति प्रस्थापित हो। दूसरी प्रार्थना उन्होंने ये की थी कि सभी देशों के बीच, सभी धर्मों के बीच परस्पर मैत्री और सुहृद भाव का संचार हो। तीसरी प्रार्थना उन्होंने ये की थी कि परस्पर जो देशों के बीच शत्रुता बढ़ रही है तो उससे वो देश मुक्त हो जाए और सभी का पूर्ण विकास हो। और चौथी प्रार्थना उन्होंने ये की थी कि अबू धाबी में मंदिर बने। अब ये जो अबू धाबी में मंदिर बने, तो उस टाइम पे तो वो बहुत ही एक बोलते हैं ना कि इम्पॉसिबल टास्क जैसा लग रहा था, मगर आज अभी कुछ ही मिनट पहले जैसे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने इसका उद्घाटन किया, तो आज जो उन्होंने हमारे गुरुजी ने जो संकल्प किया था इतने सालों पहले, तो उसको साकार होते हुए हम देख सकते हैं। तो सच में एक मिरेकल जैसा लग रहा है कि
It's been described as a miracle। आप बिल्कुल सही कह रही हैं। 1997 संभवतः वो वर्ष था जब वो अबू धाबी, जब वो शारजा गए थे, जब उन्होंने इस मंदिर की बस परिकल्पना की थी। So 1997 was when there was a concept, a thought in the mind. 2015 was when Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised this with, as he described, then Crown Prince of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, as his brother. 2 acres of land initially was given. Then another 2.5 acres, then 13 acres, and now 27 acres from a corner to that main arterial road that connects Abu Dhabi to Dubai. That's where this Divya Bhavya temple has come up. As we wait for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address in Abu Dhabi, let's show you the significance and special features of this divine temple. And this is truly labor of love and devotion. Akshata Nandagopal reports.
The biggest Hindu temple in the Islamic world. Welcome to the BAPS Swaminarayan Temple in Abu Dhabi, a sanctuary of spirituality and cultural convergence nestled in the heart of the United Arab Emirates.
यहाँ BAPS का मंदिर बनना आपके सहयोग के बिना ये संभव ही नहीं था, और मेरी पहली मुलाकात थी। मैंने सिंपली आपको रिक्वेस्ट की कि जरा आप देख लीजिए, और पलक झपकते ही आपने उसका निर्णय करके मुझे बता दिया कि आप बस जगह पर ऐसे उंगली रख दीजिए, आपको जगह मिल जाएगी। शायद इतना विश्वास, इतना प्यार अपने आप में एक बहुत ही अनोखे संबंधों की ये शक्ति को दर्शाता है।
Built on a sprawling plot, this architectural marvel boasts a prayer hall, accommodating 3,000 devotees and much more.
I'm standing in front of the largest Hindu temple outside of India. And it's in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. This is the beautiful BAPS Swaminarayan Temple, which the Prime Minister will be inaugurating on 14th February. So excitement, of course, is in the air, but it's a beautiful, beautiful architecture also that's brought this temple alive. All of it made by hand, and interestingly made of marble as well as sandstone, as you can see here. And the carvings are absolutely beautiful.
Inspired by the traditional Nagar style, the temple rises majestically with its pink Rajasthan sandstone and white Italian marble. 108 feet tall, crowned with 7 spires, each representing a UAE emirate.
Really been an amazing journey of infusing people from all cultures, all backgrounds, all religions, because that's what this mandir represents. It's a place for everyone to find peace, to find harmony, to come together as communities and realize fundamentally we all share the same underlying values as humans.
Meticulously crafted ghats, the representations of the holy rivers adorn the temple. The central domes, the Dome of Harmony and the Dome of Peace, welcome all seekers of solace and tranquility.
It's really, again, to show in every part of this mandir how it's about multiple communities and cultures, and we can learn so much from ancient civilizations. So we wanted to incorporate into the mandir all these stories that teach values.
Inside, the devotees greeted by 8 idols, symbolizing the foundational values of Sanatan Dharma. The temple in Abu Dhabi houses 7 shrines, each dedicated to different deities hailing from Bharat's north, east, west and south. Lord Ram and Sita, Lord Hanuman, Lord Shiva and Parvati, Ganesh and Kartik, Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna and Radha, Lord Tirupati Balaji and Lord Ayyappa. A vibrant cultural hub offering exhibitions, learning areas, sports facilities and thematic gardens for visitors to explore and engage heritage. Committed to sustainability, the temple utilizes fly ash and eco-friendly materials in its construction, ensuring a minimal carbon footprint while maintaining structural integrity.
It's a very, very divine visual, and to be in Emirates and to see the love outpouring, it's kind of a sign of very divine bonding between two beautiful nations.
Open to people of all faiths, the BAPS Swaminarayan Temple in the United Arab Emirates invites everyone to experience Hindu culture and spirituality, fostering understanding and harmony in a world of diversity. With Akshita Nandagopal in Abu Dhabi, Bureau Report, India Today.
I also want to bring into this conversation Dushyant Sridhar, a very well-respected and young, of course, Vedic scholar and ambassador of Veena Sikri. Dushyant Sridhar, the Prime Minister picked up a chisel and a hammer, and he symbolically chiseled the word Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. ये तेरा है, ये मेरा है, ऐसा तो संकीर्ण मानसिकता के लोग कहते हैं. उदार चरिता नाम, those with a large heart, for them the entire world is one family. And this temple, Dushyant, doesn't this temple actually symbolize that thinking of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam?
Gaurav, namaskaram to you and namaskaram to all my panelists and namaskaram to your viewers. It is of course a very momentous occasion, especially for the Astikas who live in the Middle East. They form a huge chunk of the expats there, and this temple is going to be a fulcrum. And the good part about the temple is, despite BAPS being a sampradaya, the Uddhava sampradaya, they have also incorporated the belief systems of a large section of the Astikas of the Hindus. So there is a Sannidhi for Venkateshwara Swami, there is a Sannidhi for Swami Ayyappa, there is a Sannidhi for Ram Parivar and for Radha and Krishna, there is a Sannidhi for Puri Jagannatha Swami, there is a Sannidhi for Shiva Parivar. So in a way it also symbolizes the harmony, Gaurav. And just a few words about BAPS. BAPS does follow the Swaminarayan Sampradayam. And Swaminarayan, who is one of the respected philosophers and saints in our Hindu tradition, was born as Swami Sahajanand in Uttar Pradesh, in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And he, of course, seeking the truth, the Satyam in our Vedanta, he wandered as Nilakantha Varni through different parts of the country. And the two important works that he has bestowed is Vachanamritam and Shikshapatri. So he came all the way to the south, and he says, Vishishtadvaitam Matam Me, my philosophy is Vishishtadvaita of Ramanuja. And he goes on in one of the statements to state that Ramanujacharya Kritam Bhashyam Adhyatmikam Mama. So the works of Ramanuja is what my students have to follow with respect to Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam. So in a way, Swaminarayan himself, that is Sahajanand Swami himself, was a beautiful amalgamation of so many cultures in Bharatiya tradition. And today BAPS, which is such a world-renowned movement, is of course imbibing and bequeathing that thought from Sahajananda Swami and following that. And to the Astikas of Abu Dhabi, it is going to be a victory. Just not Abu Dhabi, the 7 Emirates. One thing that impressed me, Gaurav, is the 7 Shikharas, which they have imbibed respecting the 7 Emirates, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah. So the 7 Emirates become the 7 Shikharas. So it is such a very harmonious way to go to another country, to another person's land, respectfully ask the land from them, and legally build a temple. This is the way that even our history should have been in India, where you always respect the civilization of that particular country, the religion of that particular country, do the legal way, take the
and Ganga and Yamuna coming together so beautifully, Ambassador Veena Sikri, here in Abu Dhabi. I was speaking to some of the scholars at Abu Dhabi, and they said, in the Hindu tradition, in the Sanatan Dharma, we respect elephants a lot because, in those times they were seen as elephants that would carry heavy weights for temple or fortress, for all that construction. In the Middle East, in West Asia, it's the camel. So here in this temple, you have the elephants and you have the camel on the temple walls. So that's such a beautiful amalgamation of cultures of both regions, Ambassador Sikri.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. This is the real embodiment of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And it is the wise person, as you yourself quoted, who accepts that the world is one family. And this beautiful temple, Swaminarayan Temple in Abu Dhabi, reflects this. It is the ultimate coming together of all the cultures. We accept all the cultures. The doors of this temple are open to people of all faiths. Everybody comes in peace. Everybody comes in tolerance, and everybody comes in complete harmony. So this is absolutely a culmination of what Sanatan Dharma is all about. As we all know, in India, whenever people came from different parts of the world, whether the Jews came or even the Catholics came and the Zoroastrians came, they were all welcomed and accepted, and their beliefs were welcomed in the midst of all the other people living there. So here you see for the first time this Sanatan Dharma going to the Middle East, to the Gulf, and expressing itself in Abu Dhabi. And it's a great tribute to the sagacity of the president of the UAE, President Mohammed Sheikh Zayed Al Nahyan, and to his friendship, his respect, his admiration for Prime Minister Modi, that ever since Prime Minister Modi's first visit as Prime Minister to Abu Dhabi, when he met the then Crown Prince Mohammed Sheikh bin Zayed Al Nahyan, that they came up with this idea. Prime Minister Modi just mentioned to him that we would like to have this, and here it is materialized. It is amazing that in this short span of time, it takes decades. So many ancient temples in India took decades to construct, decades and decades, multiple decades. But here, in this short space, we have today
so the first, absolutely, first foundation stone in 2017, then the final, plan in 2019, and it's already ready. Radhika Shukla ji, by 2024, तो 2017 और 19 से जो प्रयास शुरू हुआ और सारे पत्थर भारत से गए, राजस्थान से गए, उसपे जो कार्विंग हुई, ये तो भारत की शक्ति को दर्शाता है। लेकिन जो बात मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं, जो वहां पर भारतीय बच्चे हैं, उन्होंने श्रमदान किया, उन्होंने कार सेवा की, उसके बारे में हमें बताइए कि किस तरह से वो मंदिर निर्माण से जुड़े।
जी बिल्कुल, मंदिर के लिए छोटे बड़े सभी लोगों ने इसमें अपना योगदान दिया है, तो बच्चे भी क्यों पीछे हट जाए। तो उन्होंने भी अपनी इच्छा जताई। तो हर रविवार को लगभग 100 जितने बच्चे वहां पे इकट्ठा होते थे और मंदिर निर्माण में जो थोड़े से पत्थर बच जाते थे, उस पत्थर को लेकर उसके ऊपर पॉलिशिंग करके उसको पेंट करते थे, और पेंट करने के बाद अच्छे से डिजाइन और स्पिरिचुअल मैसेज के साथ वो एक छोटा सा, एक कहते हैं ना, टाइनी ट्रेजर्स उन्होंने तैयार किया है कि अबू धाबी का ये जो मंदिर दर्शन के लिए जो भी श्रद्धालु आएंगे, तो उनको मंदिर दर्शन के बाद एक स्मृति भेंट के तौर पे ये उनको अपना टाइनी ट्रेजर देंगे। तो बच्चों का भी बहुत ही खूब योगदान इसके अंदर रहा है।
और ये कितनी अच्छी बात है दुष्यंत श्रीधर जी, दिस इज इन अ वे your future generations, your next generation is being reunited with faith. It is rekindling that fire of faith in future generations, and several of those children, my colleagues Akshita Nandgopal and Anjana Om Kashyap spoke to, they said that when they were asked to give up something to be a part of this car seva, a lot of children for one whole year, they gave up television, they gave up mobile phone, they gave up cola, they gave up pizza, they gave up chocolate, and it was with seva bhav that they worked for the temple, Tushar ji.
Very true, Gaurav. See, in Sanatana Dharma, in Hinduism, temple is just not meant for going, praying, and for the purpose of worship. It is also to learn from the architecture. So when you go around a temple, there are different layers, Gaurav. It talks about the animals, it talks about the Panchabhutas, it talks about the Puranic incidents, the incidents from the Itihasa. So the children of the Middle East, because the expats, the Indian expat population in the whole of Emirates itself is huge. And for them to learn about the religion to which they belong to will be serving many, many layers. It will talk about iconography, it will talk about culture, architecture, civilization on the whole. And you did bring in a very good point. It brings in discipline. When you spoke about the children giving up certain practices, which is like junk food and things like that, there is a certain discipline that a temple also brings, because the temple, opens at a certain time and closes at a certain time. So more than just reading them in books, if there is a living temple with the Pratishtha done in Abu Dhabi, I'm sure the children, there will be an urge for them to go every weekend to the temple, to stay connected to the culture. So it does become a source of information and knowledge gaining as well, Gaurav. And I absolutely commend the Emirates, the president, the president there, for having been so courteous and being an Islamic nation. They have been so open-hearted, and I absolutely commend them. And this is going to talk about just not the India-UAE ties. It is also going to give a different air to the Hindu-Muslim relationship. And that is just going to bring more positivity in the relationship, and hope people do understand and learn from this. And yes, it's a wonderful moment, Gaurav.
It truly is a wonderful moment. Ambassador Sikri, as a diplomat, the effort always, through your entire career, has been to build bridges. But when you have a diaspora which is 3.5 million strong, what kind of a bridge would this build, and what does this mean for the Indian diaspora living and working in the United Arab Emirates, and the message that it sends across the region, madam?
It means a lot. It means it's absolutely critical for them. I think this is the reflection of tremendous success in soft power projection for India, for the vision of our Prime Minister as he foresaw it. And he's accepted the diaspora as this living bridge between India and the rest of the world. And now the diaspora has this beautiful temple which epitomizes the coming together of all cultures. As you explained, it has the camels, it has the flora and fauna of the local place, of all the other religions. This temple has been designed and conceptualized by people representing all the religions of the world.
Yes.
And the land has been gifted by the president of the UAE. So, this is such a beautiful success. And this is what we always dreamt about. We must remember that millennia ago, the civilizational contacts between India and the Gulf region, the Middle East, epitomized this place. The United Arab Emirates, as we know, were famous for their pearls, famous for their beauty, and the Arab dhows and the Indian ships. There was the Gujarat coast where the shipping began, and there was the United Arab Emirates, Sharjah and other places where it was a first stop in its journey to the Middle East, and then
Port Rashid
of Europe. So this is the coming to remembering that millennial link and bringing it to life again. It will be real for the people of India, for the people of India living in the Gulf, and for the people of the Gulf themselves. They will remember, and I think it's very visionary of the president of UAE to bring in this aspect of tolerance, peace and harmony, to show to his own people that this is real. This is what all religions are about. And all religions can find their culmination in peace, tolerance and harmony. So the message goes out to the people of the UAE, the people of the Gulf region, and of course to the people of India living there. It's a tremendously important message.
Okay.
And it comes together with, I would say, the very important agreements that the Prime Minister has signed with the Prime Minister of India and the President of UAE have seen signed in their presence. One of those I want to mention, which is to develop a national maritime heritage complex in Lothal.
Yes.
Lothal is ancient, the most ancient port in the world, 4000 BC, that it dates back to, and even beyond. And that is where India and UAE are going to develop this national maritime heritage complex to reflect this civilizational link between our two countries. Now, if all countries were to develop such civilizational links, memories, memorials, complexes, to such civilizational links, the world would be a much peacer and safer place, a much more peaceful and much safer place, because we would all recall that in times gone by, we were so peacefully trading with each other. We had no differences.
And that actually brought wealth to the entire region. And India... India was known as that golden sparrow. The point that you were raising, ma'am, and I want to take this to Radhika Shukla. Radhika ji, a Muslim king donated land for a Hindu temple where the lead architect is a Catholic Christian, the project manager is a Sikh, the foundational designer is a Buddhist, the construction company is Parsi, and the director comes from the Jain tradition. So, itna zabardast ये पूरा मिश्रण हुआ है, ये क्या संदेश दे रहा है? कल्पना क्या थी और क्या निकल कर आया है?
देखिए, संदेश तो बहुत ही साफ है। जो अभी हम फेस्टिवल मना रहे हैं, फेस्टिवल ऑफ हार्मनी, तो बहुत ही क्लियर संदेश दिया जा रहा है कि हर एक धर्म के, हर एक प्रांत के लोग इकट्ठा मिलके एक श्रद्धा के केंद्र को बना रहे हैं। तो इसमें कोई भेदभाव नहीं है, यहाँ पे हर जाति के, हर प्रांत के सभी लोगों के लिए ये खुला है। तो ये एक हार्मनी का मैसेज जा रहा है, एक संभाव का मैसेज जा रहा है कि ये मंदिर सभी के लिए है।
और दुष्यंत श्रीधर, द प्राइम मिनिस्टर, he spoke in Tamil, he spoke in Telugu, he spoke in Malayalam, he spoke in Kannada. The Kannada, the message, some who try to create that artificial north-south divide in our country, the diaspora is giving them a befitting answer, perhaps as is the Prime Minister from Abu Dhabi.
Very true, Gaurav. Interestingly, there are 7 sannidhis which are built within the temple, the Abu Dhabi temple. Generally, there's a saying, half of Kerala is outside Kerala. And a large section of the Malayalam-speaking Astikas live in the Gulf countries.
Yes.
And UAE has a significant Malayalam-speaking population. And so we have a sannidhi for Shabarimala's Ayyappa, who's regarded as an avatar of Shasta. And to the Tamil, the Telugu, and the Kannada-speaking population, there is this grand sannidhi of Balaji, Venkateshwara Swami of Tirumala, Tirupati, there along with Padmavati. To the Astikas who speak Bengali and Odia, there is a sannidhi for Puri Jagannath there. To those of them who speak Hindi, Bhojpuri, Maithili, Marwari, Marathi, Gujarati, there are sannidhis of Ram Parivar, there is a sannidhi for Radha Krishna, there is a sannidhi of Shiv Parivar there. And of course, there is this Acharya of Sahajananda Swami, who's revered as Swaminarayan. So, in a way, like how you did speak about the different people who were involved of different religions in the construction of the temple, there are different aspects of Bharatadesham and the theologies and the philosophy which is respected and represented in this beautiful temple. And it is very important, Rahul, because just imagine I have spoken in many of the BAPS temples in the US. So had the same temple been inaugurated in the US, it would have just been a 102nd temple there. But in the UAE, it becomes very important because as far as the Prana Pratishtha of all these sannidhis have happened, this is probably the only large temple in Abu Dhabi. There is one in Dubai recently as well. So this Abu Dhabi temple speaks a lot, and it will surely raise the eyebrows of many, many people across the world, because this is going to just not redefine the Hindu-Muslim unity, but it will also talk about India and UAE's ties.
Yes.
So I'm so happy that the president of the country has led this very arduous task of actually showcasing this unity by welcoming the construction of the temple. And, Gaurav, at times I feel this generation of different ages that we all see, we have seen a pandemic, we have seen the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, and now we are seeing a temple in UAE. I just hope we get to see many such momentous occasions during our lifetime. I think this is a century of us. It's for us.
Well, we pray Jivema Sharadah Shatam, and I hope, we live to be a happy and healthy 100, so that we do witness history being made right in front of our eyes almost across the world, but of course hoping towards a more peaceful world ahead. But Ambassador Sikri, that message, when the Prime Minister speaks in multiple languages in the UAE, when those 3.5 million Indians who live and work in the United Arab Emirates, they're not from any one part of our country, they live in harmony. It sends out a message even to those who artificially try to create a north-south divide within our country. It's actually a befitting response to how hollow their claims are.
Absolutely right, because the Prime Minister's message is that India is for all, and he represents all of India, and he accepts everyone from every part of India as being equally worthy, equal to everybody else, no matter what religion, what community, what faith he follows. And this message is going out in every program that is being implemented in India, every welfare scheme, and in the message to the Indian diaspora that we all should be one. We shouldn't carry any differences. Any differences, small incidents can occur, but these should be dealt with just as they are. The bigger picture has to be one of unity, because the unity in our diversity is what is going to carry us forward. And to bring that message from the ancient civilization links of 4000 BC to the present, we have the agreement which India and UAE have signed on the India-Middle East Economic Corridor. So this is the 21st century message that we are carrying forward the ancient traditions. We have brought this temple which is reflecting the ancient traditions, but we are looking forward to the future in building a very professionally developed modern India Middle East Economic Corridor, and the intergovernmental framework for that has been agreed upon. So we see that in the future too, by basing ourselves on unity, on bringing together all parts of India, bringing together India and the UAE, we can work together for a very prosperous future in which we will carry forward this future in the indefinite time to come. There will be no curb on this, because I think the President of the UAE is also looking forward to a post-fossil fuels age, and he is planning for that, and he realizes the importance of bringing together all the peoples of India and UAE for our mutual benefit and success.
I'll come to that aspect of the IMEC in just a moment, because that's extremely, extremely significant. Perhaps, again, a civilizational game changer, as some described, for this region. But before that, Radhika ji, ये जो मंदिर बन रहा है, ये इसमें कहा यह जा रहा है, कई श्रद्धालु वहां बोल रहे थे कि अगर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ना होते और अगर यूएई के राष्ट्रपति नहीं होते तो यह मंदिर नहीं बन पाता, अगर मोहम्मद बिन जायद अल नहयान की निजी मित्रता नहीं होती तो इतना भव्य मंदिर संभव नहीं हो पाता। क्या यह सत्य है?
देखिए, मंदिर संभव होता या नहीं वो तो मैं नहीं बता सकती, मगर मैं इतना जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि हमारे जो प्रधानमंत्री है नरेंद्र मोदी और वहां के जो राजा हैं क्राउन प्रिंस शेख मोहम्मद बिन जायद अल नहयान, उनके जो संबंध है वो काफी गहरे हैं। वो एक दूसरे को भाई के तौर पे बोलते हैं। तो कहते हैं ना कि उनकी ये गाढ़ रिश्तों का परिणाम है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने वहां पे प्रस्ताव रखा कि मंदिर की जरूरत है, और सामने जो राजा है वहां के, उन्होंने भी उस प्रस्ताव को स्वीकार किया। तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जश्न दोनों को मिलना चाहिए, उनकी उदारता को मिलना चाहिए, उनके विशाल हृदय को मिलना चाहिए कि एक मुस्लिम कंट्री ने एक हिंदू मंदिर बनाने के लिए ऐसे जगह दे दी
और ऐसा दिव्य भव्य मंदिर बनकर तैयार हुआ। इस मंदिर के निर्माण में हमको के बारे में हमको बताइए कि कहां से इसका जो पत्थर आया, कहां इसे तराशा गया, कैसे इसे ले जाया गया, उसके बारे में हमारे दर्शकों को बताइए।
जी, मंदिर के अंदर जो व्हाइट मार्बल यूज किया गया है वो इटली से लाया गया है। इटली से वो मार्बल इंडिया ले जाया गया, वहां पे राजस्थान के अंदर वहां पे उसकी कार्विंग की गई। जो बाहरी पत्थर है, गुलाबी पत्थर, वो राजस्थान का ही पत्थर है, बलुआ पत्थर जिसे बोलते हैं। राजस्थान में ही उसको पिंडवाला में उसकी कार्विंग की गई। दोनों पत्थरों को फिर कंडला शिप के थ्रू यहाँ पे अबू धाबी में लाया गया। खास बात तो ये है कि पत्थर जिस कंटेनर में लाते थे तो वो लकड़ी के जो सामान थे, मतलब जो कंटेनर थे, तो मंदिर को तो वहां पे उनको यूज कर दिया गया। फिर वो जो बाकी कंटेनर रहते थे, उनकी जो लकड़ी रहती थी, उसको भी हमने वेस्ट नहीं कर दिया। वो लकड़ी में से भी वहां का जो फूड कोर्ट बना है, उसके जो बेंच है, टेबल है, उसमें उसको रीयूज कर दिया। तो कोई भी मटीरियल ऐसे वहां पे वेस्ट नहीं किया गया है।
And as we wait for the Prime Minister's address in just about moments from now, I also want to understand the significance of IMEC, the ancient civilizational route and the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. Ambassador Sikri, that truly promises to be a game changer. Explain this intergovernmental agreement on the operationalization or working towards the operationalization of that IMEC, and is there a time frame for that, ma'am?
There is, I mean, they want to do it as soon as possible, but this intergovernmental framework that has been signed on yesterday is a real game changer, because it shows how specifically in what areas the Indian government and the UAE government will cooperate, what each side will do to make this a reality. For example, as one of the very important aspects that has been developed, another what was inaugurated virtually today was the Bharat Mart. Now, that is also part of IMEC, because in that Bharat Mart, that's a huge warehousing facility where, all the MSMEs, the micro, small, and medium entrepreneurs from India can store their goods in advance. They can take it to Europe from there. It's a place in the UAE, very central place. The port facilities will be there. They'll take it to Europe. They can take it to Africa. They can trade from any part of the world. So it's those kind of logistics arrangements have to be ensured to make the IMEC, the Indian Middle East Corridor, a reality, which will later on move to Europe and other parts. Then, in addition to these logistics infrastructure that you need the supply chain management. How will that happen? How will you facilitate that if a container comes from India or other facilities that you need to make seamless transportation a reality, whether it will stay in UAE, whether it will move on to some other place? All this can be done through computers. So everything that comes the software will be developed, it will be flagged. All this needs a tremendous amount of high-tech cooperation between the two countries, and the framework for that has been agreed upon. So the supply chain services have been finalized, how this will happen, and it will cover all types of general cargo, bulk containers, liquid bulk. There are different formalities, different supply chain necessities for each of these, and these will all be envisaged. So it's envisaging for the future what kind of linkages, trade linkages are going to be developed, what is the future of the linkages, what are the facilities they need at the Indian end and at the UAE end, and then from there it can carry on to other places, and of course you will have agreements with other places as well. It's a tremendously far-sighted, visionary agreement. And if you recall, this IMEC was announced at the G20 summit in India. So that really carries forward into the implementation levels already, what was agreed upon at the G20 summit.
And by some accounts, a lot of work on this has already happened in terms of the railway connectivity, the port connectivity. In some instances, 70%, in some instances, 80% of the work done. Some border management still required in some areas. But the IMEC would, Ambassador Sikri, I believe Prime Minister Narendra Modi is about to speak. I just want to, for a moment, dip in to what's happening at Abu Dhabi, at this grand temple. For a moment, let's listen in.
Sri Swaminarayan Jayate. His Excellency Sheikh Nayan Al Mubarak, Pujya Mahant Swamiji Maharaj, भारत, यूएई और विश्व के विभिन्न देशों से आए अतिथिगण और दुनिया के कोने कोने से इस आयोजन से जुड़े मेरे भाइयों एवं बहनों, आज यूनाइटेड अरब अमीरात की धरती ने मानवीय इतिहास का एक नया स्वर्णिम अध्याय लिखा है। आज अबू धाबी में भव्य और दिव्य मंदिर का लोकार्पण हो रहा है। इस पल के पीछे वर्षों की मेहनत लगी है। इसमें वर्षों पुराना सपना जुड़ा हुआ है और इसमें भगवान स्वामीनारायण का आशीर्वाद जुड़ा है। आज प्रमुख स्वामी जिस दिव्य लोक में होंगे, उनकी आत्मा जहां होगी वहां प्रसन्नता का अनुभव कर रही होगी। पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी के साथ मेरा नाता एक प्रकार से पिता पुत्र का नाता रहा। मेरे लिए एक पितृतुल्य भाव से जीवन के एक लंबे कालखंड तक उनका सानिध्य मिलता रहा, उनके आशीर्वाद मिलते रहे और शायद कुछ लोगों को सुनकर आश्चर्य होगा कि मैं सीएम था तब भी, पीएम था तब भी, अगर कोई चीज उनको पसंद नहीं आती थी तो मुझे स्पष्ट शब्दों में मार्गदर्शन करते थे। और जब दिल्ली में अक्षरधाम का निर्माण हो रहा था तो उनके आशीर्वाद से मैं शिलान्यास कार्यक्रम में था। तब तो मैं राजनीति में भी कुछ नहीं था और उस दिन मैंने कहा था कि गुरु की हम बहुत तारीफ तो करते रहते हैं, लेकिन कभी सोचा है कि किसी गुरु ने कहा कि यमुना के तट पर अपना भी कोई स्थान हो और शिष्य रूपी प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज ने अपने गुरु की उस इच्छा को परिपूर्ण कर दिया था। आज मैं भी उसी एक शिष्य भाव से यहां आपके सामने उपस्थित हूं कि आज प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज का सपना हम पूरा कर पाए हैं। आज बसंत पंचमी का पवित्र त्योहार भी है, पूज्य शास्त्री जी महाराज की जन्म जयंती भी है। ये वसंत पंचमी, ये पर्व मां सरस्वती का पर्व है। मां सरस्वती यानी बुद्धि और विवेक की मानवीय प्रज्ञा और चेतना की देवी। ये मानवीय प्रज्ञा ही है जिसने हमें सहयोग, सामंजस्य, समन्वय और सौहार्द जैसे आदर्शों को जीवन में उतारने की समझ दी है। मुझे आशा है कि मंदिर भी मानवता के लिए, बेहतर भविष्य के लिए वसंत का स्वागत करेगा। ये मंदिर पूरी दुनिया के लिए सांप्रदायिक सौहार्द और वैश्विक एकता का प्रतीक बनेगा। भाइयों और बहनों, यूएई के मिनिस्टर ऑफ टॉलरेंस हिज एक्सेलेंसी शेख नायान अल मुबारक यहां विशेष तौर पर उपस्थित है और उन्होंने भाव भी जो व्यक्त किए, जो बातें हमारे सामने रखी, वो हमारे उन सपनों को मजबूत करने का उनके शब्दों में उन्होंने वर्णन किया है। मैं उनका आभारी हूं। साथियों, इस मंदिर के निर्माण में यूएई की सरकार की जो भूमिका रही, उसकी जितनी तारीफ की जाए उतनी कम है। लेकिन इस भव्य मंदिर का स्वप्न साकार करने में अगर सबसे बड़ा सहयोग किसी का है तो मेरे ब्रदर हिज हाइनेस शेख मोहम्मद बिन जायद का है। मुझे पता है कि प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ यूएई की पूरी गवर्नमेंट ने कितने बड़े दिल से करोड़ों भारतवासियों की इच्छा को पूरा किया है। और इन्होंने सिर्फ यहां नहीं, 140 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानियों के दिल को जीत लिया। मैं इस मंदिर के विचार से लेकर एक प्रकार से प्रमुख स्वामी जी के स्वप्न से लेकर के, स्वप्न बाद में विचार में परिवर्तित हुआ, यानी विचार से लेकर इसके साकार होने तक पूरी यात्रा में इससे जुड़ा रहा हूं। ये मेरा सबसे बड़ा सौभाग्य है। और इसलिए मैं जानता हूं कि हिज हाइनेस शेख मोहम्मद बिन जायद की उदारता के लिए धन्यवाद ये शब्द भी बहुत छोटा लगता है। इतना बड़ा उन्होंने काम किया। मैं चाहता हूं उनके इस व्यक्तित्व को, भारत यूएई रिश्तों की गहराई को केवल यूएई और भारत के लोग ही नहीं बल्कि पूरा विश्व भी जाने। मुझे याद है जब मैं 2015 में यूएई में यहां आया था और तब मैंने हिज हाइनेस शेख मोहम्मद से इस मंदिर के विचार पर चर्चा की थी। मैंने भारत के लोगों की इच्छा उनके सामने रखी तो उन्होंने पलक झपकते ही उसी पल मेरे प्रस्ताव के लिए हां कर दिया। उन्होंने मंदिर के लिए बहुत कम समय में ही इतनी बड़ी जमीन भी उपलब्ध करवाई। यही नहीं, मंदिर से जुड़े एक और विषय का समाधान किया। मैं साल 2018 में जब दोबारा यूएई आया था, या संतों ने मुझे, जिसका ब्रह्मविहारी स्वामी जी ने अभी वर्णन किया, मंदिर के 2 मॉडल दिखाए। एक मॉडल भारत की प्राचीन वैदिक शैली पर आधारित भव्य मंदिर का था जो हम देख रहे हैं। दूसरा एक सामान्य सा मॉडल था जिसमें बाहर से कोई हिंदू धार्मिक चिन्ह नहीं थे। संतों ने मुझे कहा कि यूएई की सरकार जिस मॉडल को स्वीकार करेगी उसी पर आगे काम होगा। जब यह सवाल हिज हाइनेस शेख मोहम्मद के पास गया तो उनकी सोच साफ, एकदम साफ थी। उनका कहना था कि अबू धाबी में जो मंदिर बने वो अपने पूरे वैभव और गौरव के साथ बने। वे चाहते थे कि यहां सिर्फ मंदिर बने ही नहीं बल्कि वो मंदिर जैसा दिखे भी। साथियों, ये छोटी बात नहीं है, बहुत बड़ी बात है। यहां सिर्फ मंदिर बने ही नहीं लेकिन वो मंदिर जैसा दिखे भी। भारत से बंधुत्व की ये भावना वाकई हमारी बहुत बड़ी पूंजी है। हम इस मंदिर के में जो भव्यता दिख रही है उसमें हिज हाइनेस शेख मोहम्मद की विशाल सोच की भी झलक है। अब तक जो यूएई बुर्ज खलीफा, फ्यूचर म्यूजियम, शेख जायद मस्जिद और दूसरी हाईटेक बिल्डिंग के लिए जाना जाता था, अब उसकी पहचान में एक और सांस्कृतिक अध्याय जुड़ गया है। मुझे विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में यहां बड़ी संख्या में श्रद्धालु आएंगे। इससे यूएई आने वाले लोगों की संख्या भी बढ़ेगी और पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट भी बढ़ेगा। मैं पूरे भारत और विश्व भर में रहने वाले करोड़ों भारतवासियों की ओर से प्रेसिडेंट हिज हाइनेस शेख मोहम्मद को और यूएई सरकार को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं। मैं आप सबसे प्रार्थना करता हूं, हम सब यूएई के प्रेसिडेंट को यहां से स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन दें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं यूएई के लोगों का भी उनके सहयोग के लिए हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। साथियों, भारत और यूएई की दोस्ती को आज पूरी दुनिया में आपसी विश्वास और सहयोग के एक उदाहरण के रूप में देखा जाता है। खासकर बीते वर्षों में हमारे संबंधों ने एक नई ऊंचाई हासिल की है, लेकिन भारत अपने इन रिश्तों को केवल वर्तमान संदर्भ में ही नहीं देखता। हमारे लिए इन रिश्तों की जड़ें हजारों साल पुरानी है। अरब जगत सैकड़ों वर्ष पहले भारत और यूरोप के बीच व्यापार में एक ब्रिज की भूमिका निभाता था। मैं जिस गुजरात से आता हूं, वहां के व्यापारियों के लिए, हमारे पूर्वजों के लिए तो अरब जगत व्यापारिक रिश्तों का प्रमुख केंद्र होता था। सभ्यताओं के इस समागम से ही नई संभावनाओं का जन्म होता है। इसी संगम से कला, साहित्य और संस्कृति की नई धाराएं निकलती है। इसलिए अबू धाबी में बना ये भव्य मंदिर इसलिए इतना महत्वपूर्ण है। इस मंदिर ने हमारे प्राचीन रिश्तों में नई सांस्कृतिक ऊर्जा भर दी है। साथियों, अबू धाबी का ये विशाल मंदिर केवल एक उपासना स्थली नहीं है, ये मानवता की सांझी विरासत का शेयर्ड हेरिटेज का प्रतीक है। ये भारत और अरब के लोगों के आपसी प्रेम का भी प्रतीक है। इसमें भारत यूएई के रिश्तों का एक आध्यात्मिक प्रतिबिंब भी है। इस अद्भुत निर्माण के लिए मैं BAPS संस्था और उनके सदस्यों की सराहना करता हूं, हरिभक्तों की सराहना करता हूं। BAPS संस्था के लोगों द्वारा, हमारे पूज्य संतों के द्वारा पूरे विश्व में मंदिर बनाए गए हैं। इन मंदिरों में जितना ध्यान वैदिक बारीकियों का रखा जाता है, उतनी ही आधुनिकता भी उसमें झलकती है। कठोर प्राचीन नियमों का पालन करते हुए आप आधुनिक जगत से कैसे जुड़ सकते हैं, स्वामीनारायण संन्यास परंपरा इसका उदाहरण है। आपका प्रबंध कौशल, व्यवस्था संचालन और उसके साथ साथ हर श्रद्धालु को लेकर संवेदनशीलता, हर कोई इससे बहुत कुछ सीख सकता है। ये सब भगवान स्वामीनारायण की कृपा का ही परिणाम है। मैं इस महान अवसर पर भगवान स्वामीनारायण के चरणों में भी प्रणाम करता हूं। मैं आप सभी को और देश विदेश के सभी श्रद्धालुओं को बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, ये समय भारत के अमृतकाल का समय है। ये हमारी आस्था और संस्कृति के लिए भी अमृतकाल का समय है। और अभी पिछले महीने ही अयोध्या में भव्य राम मंदिर का सदियों पुराना सपना पूरा हुआ है। रामलला अपने भवन में विराजमान हुए हैं। पूरा भारत और हर भारतीय उस प्रेम में, उस भाव में अभी तक डूबा हुआ है। और अभी मेरे मित्र ब्रह्मविहारी स्वामी कह रहे थे कि मोदी जी तो सबसे बड़े पुजारी है। मैं जानता नहीं हूं मैं मंदिरों की पुजारी की योग्यता रखता हूं या नहीं रखता हूं, लेकिन मैं इस बात का गर्व अनुभव करता हूं कि मैं मां भारती का पुजारी हूं। परमात्मा ने मुझे जितना समय दिया है उसकी हर पल, और परमात्मा ने जो शरीर दिया है उसका कण कण सिर्फ और सिर्फ मां भारती के लिए है। एक 140 करोड़ देशवासी मेरे आराध्य देव हैं। साथियों, अयोध्या के हमारे उस परम आनंद को आज अबू धाबी में मिली खुशी की लहर ने और बढ़ा दिया।